So do yourself a favour, check out the Carlisle Cult Cinema Club, and don't forget not just to rate it, but also to subscribe on YouTube or Facebook.
Hi, I'm Ian Ogilvy, and you're watching the Carlisle Cult Cinema Club.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the latest edition of the Carlisle Cult Cinema Club Presents. And in this episode, I'm joined by the lads, Waff,
Howdy.
Paul Mann, director of Shiver Me Timbers, Clive Tonge, director of Mara. I've got to say that because me and Waff are just nobodies. You know, I am a Rondo winner, and I do have my Rondo award somewhere now. So, yeah, so
I'm sure
that's it.
what means something to somebody somewhere.
Yeah,
I'll have you
that's
know
it.
that in the Guide to Housing Benefit and Council Tax Benefit, 1997, the official book, my name is mentioned in the preface by the author.
Oh,
there
well,
you go.
the Housing Benefits book of
Yeah.
1997, Waff is the man.
It's hard to get hold of these days, but yeah, priceless.
Rarity.
Yeah. I don't know what's happened there. It's caught back up again. It kind of went out. And we're here today to talk about what is horror for different kind of subgenres. Waff's picked haunted houses. Clive has picked found footage. Paul has chosen body horror, and I went for good old gut munching zombies. They're all faithful for me. So it's basically what makes it horror. And I'm sure we've all written out our little bunch of notes. So without do's and furthers, and let's get on, it's time to speak to Waff. He's going to start because it was his idea, and we've all been confused about it up until probably today, when I was still confused about it. So just wrote what I thought is right. So what makes haunted house movies horror?
Thank you. Well, I like the fact that I don't know whether you did it on purpose or you fluffed it when you were going to say without further ado. Like so many YouTubers say without further ado all the time on every video that I see these days. I was glad that you kind of said it in a different way.
I always say it in that way.
Do you? All right,
Yeah.
that's the first time I noticed. No, that's good. That's
I
good.
do it on the radio show.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, I like it. I appeared to pick a really complicated idea for a podcast this week. So we've had much discussion in the WhatsApp group on it, but I think it will all become clear as we move along. It's fluid. It's gonna make sense.
It's fluid.
I think that means he's making it up as he goes along, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So we've my pick of the horror subgenre is haunted house movies. I've gone specifically haunted house as opposed to like kind of ghost movies and stuff like that. It's like subgenres within subgenres. You could say ghost movies, then have haunted house movies within that.
Yeah,
You could have ghost movies, and you could have like J horror ghost movies in there.
Well, we know one of your favourites is Casper.
Yes. Well, I've got this on my list actually because I was going to make a point about Casper. So yeah, it's basically ones that are kind of, you got ghosts and demons in a haunted house, things that go bump in the night.
Ghosties and ghoulies and long-legged beasties and things that go bump in the night.
That's good.
And those two. So they often tend to be quite dark. They're often gothic kind of things, which I know Clive loves, is gothic horrors. And it's the gothic stuff. You could say films like Woman in Black, either version, the original TV movie, or the Hammer one that was out a few years ago, or the others.
As me and Clive discussed in the last podcast that's out, what we were watching, The Haunting.
Yes,
it's a classic haunted house.
Yeah, another gothic one.
Yeah.
And that was remade as well, didn't it? I don't think I ever saw the remake, but with Liam Neeson.
The remake's terrible with Liam Neeson. It's absolutely atrocious. Don't watch it. It's CG overblown garbage.
I think that's why I avoided it.
It's CG at a time when CG was shite.
It seems
Even on big budget movies. Yeah, well, yeah.
It's had its peak on District 9 kind of period, and then it's just gone whoop, down again. Um, but yeah, so yeah, old houses are more likely to go mansions with long corridors and creaky staircases, and kind of things that subtle things that might kind of make you jump, but nothing's really happened yet. But it's not just that. There's modern stuff like you've got Poltergeist, um, or The Night House, which is an ultra new one, which is slightly more weirder haunted house movie.
Oh, and what about
Um,
that's even more modern, isn't it?
the what? Sorry.
Hokum.
Oh, Hokum. Yes, yes. That's. I mean, I love that, and I'd say that's a haunted house. It's got all the traits that I like in it.
Oh, I just got sent a code to watch that.
Yeah, I liked it a lot more than other people, but it's in my wheelhouse, and it's got elements of The Shining, elements of Resident Evil in it, early Resident Evil. Like there's a lot of kind of can you get out this room and solve puzzles and things, which and I also love the Resident Evil games. It's and
I'm guessing probably with this subject we're going to get loads of crossover, aren't we? Because found footage probably there's found footage
absolutely.
that was all three of your genres, really.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the thing with it was genres and subgenres that go all over the place, don't there? And you can never put anything in one genre. Um, so it's something else in there as well. Like Shining. Shining's a haunted house film, but it's also got the kind of like the supernatural. But it's also got like the kind of I don't know. The Shining itself is more of a sci-fi element, maybe you could say.
Kubrick ruined it.
The Shining's sci-fi in it.
Well, no, I'm trying to think of what the Shining itself, as in what
Well, it's
Danny has.
The Shining. It's a supernatural element.
Yeah,
The Shining is you know what I mean?
I suppose it's supernatural as well, really, but it's not haunted house, I suppose. So it broadens it a bit to a more broader supernatural than just a haunted house movie.
Why
Because
do you not
obviously,
consider that a haunted house then, Woff? Because I thought that was straight in there. It's a haunted hotel, I guess.
well, it is, but that's not. I mean, I suppose this is one of Stephen King's arguments, isn't it? That there's not enough of The Shining in The Shining, and it's he says that Kubrick turned it more into a haunted house movie. So the book has more other elements in it.
More psychological, the book. His mental
Yes,
is.
yeah. It's called Jack Descending into Madness, really, isn't it? It's kind of
The Mick Garris version was truer to the book.
it was, but I wasn't the biggest fan of that. But but yeah, it's true to the book. But the film's not that untrue to the book. I think Stephen King's just being a dick, to be honest. It's I think like you can't get that whole book into a 2 hour film, and something has to be cut. But still hits all the main notes, and he does it beautifully. It's so well filmed, and the sound effects and the acting. Yeah, no, Stephen King's wrong. They took his idea and made it better.
I mean, I agree.
More about the characters, isn't he? He wants warm characters, and then he shoved ghosts on them. Whereas I guess The Shining, it is an amazing film, but it's quite cold, isn't it? Quite a distant film.
Yeah.
I'm the odd one out because I don't really care for the film, to be honest.
Okay, yeah.
You're not the odd one out. You're not the odd one out. For me, the film was a bit, it's one of those films that if I'm watching it with somebody and I want a coffee, I'll be like, don't worry, you don't need to pause it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to miss much.
My wife's like that with every film I get her to watch.
But I mean, Jack Nicholson was good.
But I mean, the stuff. I mean, that opening shot's just like that's for me is one of the best opening shots in any film. It's iconic. I mean, and before the time of drones as well.
Do you mean
that was another thing that King said there was a lot of style over substance.
Yeah, but I still think it's substantial as well. There's a lot of style in it. But I mean, you can still have a
substance well, doesn't it? Like the Shining isn't heavy on plot, and it's not really heavy on character. It's tone, isn't it, and all that. And if you are not a fan of haunted house, is a lot of tone, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah,
the haunting there's nothing. There's no ghosts. There's no nothing. It's just weird sounds going on, you know. So maybe that's kind of our, you know, one of our rough splits in the podcast. You know, it's kind of me and Waff go with the more of the tone, and then the two Pauls go with more of like, I don't know what you call it, the out there, and you see it, you know,
in your face,
in your face. Yeah.
Yeah. That could
You know
be
what,
one of
though?
the things that we can.
I think Stephen King, as a film viewer, one of the reasons he didn't like it, I think he's a gore kind of monger, leaning more towards myself and Paul, because he loves he was the one that made Terrifier famous. He tweeted,
Was he?
yeah,
Right.
that he loved it. Then of course everyone ran. You know, and the films, the filmic versions of his films that he loves are always the more gory.
Well,
the more
look
horror.
what he did with Stephen King's tagline for The Evil Dead. Help the Evil Dead no end.
Yeah.
And the one for the Hellraiser, I have seen the future of horror. His name is Clive Barker.
Oh,
so I think
say my name then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Need to buddy up with Stephen King.
That's it. So he's helped. You know, if he he is very gore because he teamed up with Romero. He loved Dawn of the Dead. He loved Night of the Living Dead. He is a big film watcher himself.
Oh yeah, he does. He does
what I mean?
and it's.
I don't know why you like the Terrifier, because I thought that was. I'm not a fan.
I like number 2. I like the second one.
I watched the original short, then the first movie, and I just
watch the second one. It's a different level.
Hang on,
right?
Is this the killer clown we're talking about?
Yeah,
the clown. Yeah. But let's get back to Waff with haunted houses.
Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah. So that's that's the basically what it is, and a few names mentioned there, like but you've also got stuff like The Grudge. You could count as a haunted house film. Sorry.
I love the Grudge.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of J horror has kind of got that bit of a haunted house.
It's very haunted orientated.
I mean, going all the way back to the early 80s, when you look at House, oh God, do you know something I had in my head and now it's gone? The House Where Evil Dwells, which was set in Japan. Can you remember that one with Doug McClure?
Oh, Doug McClure, right?
yeah, and just a haunted spirits getting into people and possession and haunted dojo, whatever they kind of lived in, paper walls and places, you know, them houses.
He was an actor of my childhood, Doug McClure. Like, he just seemed to be in everything I watched on it when I was a kid. Journey to the Center of the Earth and Land of Time Forgotten. Yeah.
Humanoids of the Deep.
Well, what did you think of? Would you say 13 Ghosts is a haunted house film?
Yes,
I mean, it's
and the House on Haunted Hill as well.
I've just tried to read the book. Actually, I love the series.
No, that's the Haunting of Hill House. The House on Haunted Hill was a film with a haunted house film with Vincent Price in.
Right,
it was a William Castle film. And one of the Paul will know this. One of the things he used to do with the House on Haunted Hill is he'd have a skeleton on a wire hooked up in cinemas. So at certain points of the movie, it'd drop down and fly across, and he had like luminous paint on it, so it glowed up to give everybody the shits. When he played the Tingler, he had a little electric things underneath the chairs to give
early
people
5D,
jump.
isn't it? It's
into 5D. But yeah, if you've not seen the House on Haunted Hill, and he done the original 13 Ghosts as well.
Oh right.
I didn't do that. 13 Ghosts was great.
Oh, the original and the remake was a cracker as well.
Yeah, Matthew Lillard, I think.
Yes, Matthew Lillard.
So yeah, it's So it stretches across lots of things, and it's not just like we were saying before, genres. So we're focusing on different genres of horror, but haunted house movies don't necessarily all come into horror. You've got Casper, which PD mentioned at the start, and you've got like Beetlejuice, which is far more of a comedy than a horror.
Then there's Crimson Peak, which is just a shitty melodrama.
That came up like I was looking. I mean, I wasn't cheating too much on Google, but I did want to like just see if I'd missed any obvious haunted house movies out, and that kept coming up. And I'm not bloody mentioning that because I watched it, and it's just not. It's got all the elements that should be a good haunted house horror, but except for the horror, and it's just I'm not really sure what it was, but
Well,
it's just
one of my found footage picks would come in your category, which is Paranormal Activity.
oh yes, yes,
Yeah,
oh yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's a good, great film. Changed a lot when that came out, I think.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a crossover.
Yeah.
Um, uh, so on to away from. Excuse me, shouldn't be drinking so much Pepsi when I'm talking. Um, what makes it horror? Um, I think the main thing is fear. So specifically to haunted house movies, obviously, the audience feels threatened by what might happen.
Fear of the
Uh,
unknown.
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's. I mean, you can break that into a lot of horror genres. But yeah, I mean, what's around the corner? What's down the corridor? What's that noise coming up the stairs? Uh, so you kind of, you as an audience member, you're threatened by what might happen. You've also got the stretching of reality, like doors and voices. The world's not making as much sense as it previously did, and that makes you feel uneasy, and gives you kind of my next one, which is dread, that something's wrong. You're meant to feel safe in your home, but you don't feel safe in your home. Um, like uh, like if you're in a home, you can run.
The entity's a fine thing of that. If you've not seen
Oh
the
yeah,
entity,
I saw it a long time ago. I haven't seen it in a while. It was a poltergeist one, wasn't it? I think
yeah,
was that. Did
but
that have a naked woman on the front? On the
yes, yeah.
VHS. Yes, I got that when I was a kid. I can remember I went to the video hire and I was like 14 or something, and I was like, that looks like a horror, and it's got a boob on the picture. And my mum was away.
Ticking all the boxes, eh, Waff?
Yeah, well, that was
Well,
it.
she obviously gets raped by the old poltergeist,
Yeah.
but it's
Well,
not really a haunted house, I suppose, because it follows her from home to home.
You know what? I guess the Conjuring universe is pretty much haunted houses, isn't it?
it is. Yeah, I'm not massively. I've watched them all and all the spin-offs, but I'm not massively keen. I think they definitely fit in that. The haunting, the second one, which was based on the Enfield haunting, I've seen like there was a BBC version of that a few years ago with Timothy Spall that was much better than
Mm.
the Hollywood one.
The Hollywood one was like a TARDIS, really, wasn't it? It's sort of like a council house at the front, and then when you got inside, there were like giant rooms and
Yeah, more
corridors.
like an American house.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's there was yeah. I mean, the Warrens were half those things. They just and most people kind of just saw them as a pair of kooks, really. Anyway, but they were made into these superheroes in the movies. It's, yeah, I preferred uh, Insidious of the James Wan kind of things. I much preferred Insidious to Conjuring, but Conjuring's the one that took off. Um, so yeah, if you've got like kind of dread and unease, like with a haunted house, you're stuck like if you're chased by a werewolf or a zombie or something, then you can run away. The house is the place that you're meant to feel safe, so you're losing that kind of safety net. Um, so where do we go? Um, and that's kind of everything that I had for haunted houses really, and why I think the horror. Um, and I guess at the end we'll tail back and come up with a kind of overall definition
I
of
know.
what I think.
that's the aim today, is it? As it Waff is, because I
I
think
think so. Yeah, I think.
the definition of anything is really difficult when you drill down. Like, what is art? Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's not going to be.
You kind of have a vague idea of what art is, but then when you actually discuss it, it's hard to
It's
the definition. You know.
it's at least have a discussion and see what comes out of it, kind of thing. Yeah, it'll be very hard to come up. We're not going to come up with a dictionary definition for Oxford.
I've got a definition. I was trying to put one together. What horror is, because it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, what scares you might not scare me, and I think it's because I was trying to word it, and I knew what I wanted to say. So I think it's when you can't imagine enduring what that person is experiencing, something so horrific and unnatural that it terrifies you. And that could be different for everybody.
So in your definition, Paul, being scared is important, yeah?
Yes. Well, or watching somebody go through something that's so unimaginable to you that you can't comprehend it. Like you can't comprehend their suffering or surviving it, or you'd rather be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's more horror. That could be a ghost, could be a shark, could be eaten by zombies.
So is Jaws a horror film?
I would say so.
Yeah.
If you had to jump off the boat knowing it was going to eat you or take a bullet to the head, you'd take the bullet to the head.
Yeah.
Quick and easy instead of getting chewed on.
Yeah. And that's why graphic war movies, they're not horror because you can comprehend it. It's a part of real life. You can understand it, life. But being chased by cannibals and eaten alive, you can't comprehend it. It's too grotesque. It's too much. Being turned into a monster, it's too much. That's horror.
I wonder if the supernatural comes into it somewhere because being in a war would be pretty horrific.
But it's not hard.
But then it's something like.
Go on, sorry, Waff.
Oh, so I was going to say something like Eden Lake. I would consider a horror, but there's nothing supernatural about that. Or a lot of slashes. They don't necessarily have to have supernatural. Most of them do end up having supernatural elements in them, but the theory of someone like a psycho just chasing after you, that's fear of being caught by a psycho.
So I wonder why slashers are not considered thrillers and why they're considered horrors. Because we focus on the deaths.
Because this is good. You're witnessing or imagining an experience so horrific and unnatural that you would rather quickly die than endure it. Because slashers don't just kill you; they take their time.
They stalk you, hence stalk and slash.
Yeah. So I mean, I was trying to, I was using ChatGPT to try and narrow it down, but it's just watching somebody endure something or experience something so horrific and unnatural. Because a slasher death is not natural. It's not a bullet to the head. It's not a quick death. A quick death, or is preferable to living through the death. That they're.
That means like survival is maybe a thing. Then you've got something to survive. How am I going to survive this?
Well, survival horror is it's a sub again.
Yeah.
What about something like say you had like, for example, body horror. If you had someone who if you had someone that was voluntarily transforming into something hideous because they wanted to, but it's horrible because it's grotesque and there's blur and it looks horrible, that wouldn't be horror because they wanted to be that.
No, that would be because the whole point of the film is from the viewer's point of view. They can't fathom or imagine this. It's too much. They'd be like, I'd rather be dead.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
No,
right then.
Valid point.
Moving on. Is that all you have to say, Waff?
Oh yeah. That was just a little excerpt into the
keeping, you know what I mean?
Do at the end.
just keeping stuff moving on. Let's go to Clive with found footage.
Yeah. All right. So I'm probably guilty of being the most confused by Waff's topic on this one. So and the more you think about it, the less you can come up with a definition of horror. I mean, Paul definitely covers it, but then
it was good.
You come up with like Rosemary's Baby. I mean, that's not really scary, but it's definitely a horror film, isn't it? So
Burton's child, man.
It's you know, it's something that you would never want done to yourself.
yeah.
That's terrifying.
I think, so in the absence of a definition, I just went with what scared me the most. That's what I'm chasing from my horror. For me, it has to be scary. Otherwise, it doesn't count somehow. So, and when I look back, the films that genuinely scared me the most is found footage. So that's why I picked that. So it isn't really a genre, is it? Found footage.
It definitely is.
Big time. Big time.
You think it's a genre because there's not many, but there are some found footage films that are not horror.
But same with Casper and Beetlejuice. It's the same with Casper and Beetlejuice. You can like a haunted house, but they're not horror. You can
the
have
Ghosts of Motley Hall.
Yeah, you can have found footage.
I think found footage came out in my mind. Came out of like once we could all get hold of cameras, so you didn't have to be a rich Hollywood dude to make something. You could make these films on the cheap, and they kind of look like home movies, and that kind of made them scary. It was the fact that they weren't well lit and Hollywood style and CGI effects and unknown people, and it kind of lent itself. It doesn't matter if you're not the best actor in the world, because that kind of is a bit, as soon as you turn a camera onto somebody, they sort of act a bit weird anyway. So I went with I still wonder if it's a genre or if it's just a style of filmmaking.
No, it's a genre.
I'd say
genre. 100%.
I don't think you can specify this stuff's so fluid. I'll use fluid again. This stuff's so fluid you can't really say something's a genre.
Have you learnt a new word, Wolf?
Yeah, I learned some toilet paper word of the day, fluid, this morning.
So
you keep using this word fluid a lot, as if you've just kind of.
So the films I thought about that frightened me were the Blair Witch Project, and these are also films I think that kind of changed the landscape when they came out as well, whether you like them or not, really. I really like the Blair Witch Project, Paranormal Activity, Wreck.
Yeah.
And then smaller ones like Lake Mungo. That was a bit of an odd one.
Borderlands.
The Borderlands scared the pants off me for some reason. And then there's other smaller ones that maybe not as scary and as well produced, but things like VHS. I'm always up for a VHS.
Some of my favorites.
Yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed all of the VHS movies, including the last one. Which,
but then so you're saying that Wreck is the same genre as the Blair Witch Project, or are they just both horror movies done in a found footage style? Do you see what I mean?
I think they share a genre, but it doesn't mean that they don't share other genres as well. Like Wreck shares like you could say the zombie genre or infection genre, whereas Blair Witch shares the haunted genre, but they both share found footage as a genre. I think it's this one of the reasons that I picked this was because I got in an argument into the group with a friend about what is horror, and he was very specific in that he was saying stuff like The Thing isn't a horror movie. It's a sci-fi movie or a monster movie, and I'm saying
no, it's a horror movie.
All three of those movies.
It's body horror, 100% body horror.
But I think it's all three. I think
on my list.
Yeah,
is it? Well, of course, yeah. It's one of the best body horrors, but it's all three, and that's my. I think things are in lots of genres, and that's the thing. But horror will be number one for me for The Thing, and what genre it's in.
So sorry, these found footage from a sort of movie making kind of point of view, where what gets these films made is, I mean, particularly Blair Witch and Paranormal, they were made for peanuts. And they made, millions. So as a kind of a business model, they make really good sense. And then you think about I think that's led to filmmakers, because filmmakers can get hold of kit fairly easily. We've all got a phone, so we could make some kind of movie with it. Now I think, I know I keep banging on about we're in the golden age of horror, but the more horror films I watch, the more I kind of believe that. So these YouTubers who probably started doing the equivalent of found footage type movies, they're now maturing and they've spent their lives on YouTube making films and getting better at them and understanding what people like and retooling everything. So now we've got this Obsession film, which was made for less than $1 million, and it's already up to 150 million, and that is down to the director's pure filmmaking. It's a pure filmmaking, horror filmmaking, and I think found footage does that. I think if people make a found footage, it's probably because they don't have any money, and if they haven't got any money, they've got to rely on their own skills and talent and what they see in other films. I don't think there's many high budget found footage. I don't know if anyone can think of any.
Troll Hunter looked slick, but it probably
yeah,
didn't cost a lot.
Troll Hunter looks like it's
Cannibal Holocaust obviously had a budget. Has a fantastic soundtrack. You know, cinematographers, the full 9 yards.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Going to speak, Paul. Then
there's two big. Ridley Scott did a found footage, the Alien one. He was the producer. And it's really good, by the way. It had a budget of like $1 million.
An Alien found footage.
It's called Phoenix Forgotten.
Was that between the Prometheus and Covenant? Did he?
He didn't direct it, but he directed by Justin Barber. It's about aliens out in the desert. It's really, really good.
Oh no!
And then
I've seen that one.
And then Rennie Harlin, you know Rennie Harlin, Cliffhanger, Deep Blue Sea. He directed one.
Daytolov Project, was that it?
Yes.
Yes.
Like the Russian one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so that was good actually.
The Dilatov Pass.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
So there is a couple of big guys stepping in. But what they do is, for the big reveal, you could tell they throw money on the big reveal. And then that's the only difference. That's the only difference.
I think there's one called Afflicted, which looked like it had a bit of money, which they poured into a couple of scenes. You know, most of it was like kind of regular found footage, and then there was just a couple of like. It was good actually because this was like bloody hell. I didn't expect that from a found footage film, and then I
loved that film.
Yeah, it's great.
Has anybody seen a British one called Exhibit A?
I've heard of it.
I think you've recommended it. I can't remember whether I watched it or not.
Honest to God, if you've not seen it and it's dark and it's a fantastic film.
Okay.
So, Exhibit A.
So I think this found footage as a model of like a cheap way to make good films. I think people have taken it on. If you're a YouTube trawler like I am, you can actually get found footage of loads of stuff now, and it's pretty decent. Like I've just finished The Boys, and there's found footage of Homelander, destroying a football stadium full of people, and it's almost like they were. It's like these people around while The Boys was happening, and they're just on their phones filming it.
Yeah.
Look at Chronicle.
Yeah, Chronicle. And that's
that was with a bit of money as well. That new, when you're talking about young YouTubers bringing out found footage stuff, that new in the back rooms, that's based on found footage creepypasta stuff on
we just watched like 10 episodes because we're going to go see the back rooms. But he made these. He's a Blender guy. He's a visual effects kid. He's only 21 years old. But all it is what like the trailer is him, and it's scary and it's eerie. He's also a musician. Yeah, so that's why it works, because he's married. But he got like 80 million views per film.
Wow.
Okay. They're killing it. These YouTubers are killing it now.
That Backrooms has become the biggest opening horror film of all time.
Has it?
Something like
I think the A24 biggest opening.
But they brought a writer in. Because his little short films is just more of the same, going through the room. But it's amazing. But they've actually brought they got him a proper writer to create a feature, so that's his style. But the genius behind that was when you watch it, it all looks like really rough VHS. So even if you weren't that good on Blender,
Yeah.
it looks good.
Yeah. And there's something in that old lost media look, isn't that VHS?
Yeah.
Distorted
Which is
noise.
the aesthetic I try and keep with the the Carlisle Cult Cinema Club stuff, the YouTube stuff, is that whole VHS aesthetic. I could go into more and put lines and shit while we're talking, but it just takes forever to do it all, and I ain't that good.
So yeah,
you know what I mean?
That would be my contribution to the definition of horror. Using the films that scared me the most, genuinely, I would say it's got to be scary.
What did you watch Body Cam?
Yeah, I watched Body Cam. Yeah,
it was good, huh?
I thought that was great. Yeah. I'm for found footage because I feel like I'm on the filmmaker's side. They haven't got a big budget and they're just doing it. Do you know what I mean?
The thing is, there's thousands of found footage horrors. A lot of them are shit. But when somebody gets it right, for no money, when they get it right, that's it. They're writing their own paychecks, Because
well, I mean, look at Cannibal Holocaust still echoing from 1980 right until now. You know what I mean?
What was the first one? It was like 1973. Parliament
wasn't it
Way.
Eaten Alive?
No, it wasn't. It was kind of more war, but it was found footage. Hang on. I've always wanted to see it. I've never seen it.
First found footage movie you're looking at?
Yeah, like from 19.
Yeah, because there was something done before Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah.
There's one called The Last Broadcast or The Last Movie or something.
No.
Parliament Way or something. It'll come to me. I could go and ask Naomi.
This is just watching an old man forget stuff, isn't it?
It'll come to me. It's quite brutal. It's about these kids, as opposed to going to jail, have to go. The army take them out to like clean up the desert, but they get shot and everything. Kind of like the famous picture of the Asian guy getting shot.
Is
like
it War Games?
Guy. No, it's from it's a very original, first found footage film, and it's called not Cannibal Holocaust. It was before that.
Yeah, everybody I knew there was something before it, but everybody does say always goes Cannibal Holocaust was the first. That was the first horror, but I'm sure there's something even before that horror film wise, and I can't think for the life of me.
You know what? It's because I haven't seen it. I can't remember the name of it, but
yeah,
it'll come to me. I don't want to waste time.
Show notes.
Yes,
yeah, put it in the notes.
Yeah,
it's not a horror. It's just horrific.
I'd argue if it's a genre or not, or is it a style, but it certainly lends itself to horror because I think for all its faults, what it does do is it puts you very much in the situation.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
It doesn't feel controlled. But maybe you'd feel like if you were around when Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out, you would have thought, God, this is so gritty. It's like a documentary style. You know what I mean? And it would have felt. It didn't feel like a movie. It felt something more visceral or more real. And I think found footage is maybe the next step of that.
The rawness puts you in the moment because it feels like it could just be a whole movie so you don't it cuts the Hollywood bit out of it. It makes it.
It's like watching a snuff movie. It's like a snuff movie.
Yeah.
That's shocking because it's something that you could do. So, it's like a snuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
sorry,
I think
Clive, I cut you off.
That's my contribution to what. That's it. No. So it's all a bit stuttery on my end.
Right, is that you, Clive?
That's me. Yeah, that's me.
Right. So moving on swiftly, and we're going on to Paul S. Mann, the man himself, Mr. Popeye. and his and his subgenre is body horror. Over to you, Paul.
It was either going to be body horror or really bad public domain films, but I went with body horror. Well, body horror is horrific. You're watching people having things or have done to them, sometimes willingly, or unwillingly, where you just can't imagine or fathom the pain and suffering that they're going through. And it's just horrific. And I'll give you some examples. The Fly, pretty much every David Cronenberg movie.
Yes.
The Fly, when, initially he's trying to make himself better. Well, no, he's not. He's just trying to teleport. But the Fly gets in the mix. But then what happens to him? When I watched that in 1986, I just remember going, oh my God, you could feel his pain and his suffering as it was happening.
I think
so
you're watching the humanity drain out when you face that in the mirror. It's not right, is it? It's horrible.
Yeah, I mean, it was just horrific. Another one of his good movies was Rabbit with Marlon Chambers.
Great
Remember,
film.
she gets into an accident and they give her a experimental skin graft, and she's got that thing that turns everyone rabid. And
One minute they're completely normal, the next rabid.
But it's her.
Fucking superb.
She's, and you're horrified by the whole premise. And that was like 1973 or something when he did that.
Shivers.
Shivers with a sort of little slug-like things.
Yeah.
More recently, Slither, the James Gunn movie, where the alien I remember the girl that got really big and fat, and then they kept her in a barn.
Yeah.
And she was just never-ending hunger. You were horrified for her. And then she explodes and all the things come out. What's his name? Michael Rooker turns into that horrible, you'd rather die than become that. The horror of it. And there's many. Another great one is Society. Street Trash. Society.
Oh,
yeah. And I think
remember,
even body horror's got a modern twist on it, which is probably really the start of this modern horror thingy, which is The Substance, which is all about beautiful people turning kind of ugly.
I love that movie.
Yeah,
that's
Still
chasing.
Haven't
That's when they're chasing.
You'll like it, PD. I'm sure you will.
I know.
That's them chasing her youth, but it backfires.
Yeah.
When it backfires, you feel her pain. You've got the empathy and the horror, and you're just like, you'd rather die.
You feel her pain sort of doubly, really, because she's doing it to look younger and more beautiful, and it couldn't go worse, could it? Couldn't go more opposite to what her goal is.
Well, there's and even another take on that was the TV show The Beauty.
Oh, you mentioned that. Yeah, I've started seeing
which is basically The Substance, but it's grislier in a weird way.
More grisly than The Substance.
Yeah, you got to watch it. It's amazing.
Really? Because The Substance was pretty full on.
Well, they go full on this.
Body Melt, Paul.
I don't know if I have.
Aussie. It's got Harold from Neighbours in it.
right.
Honest to God, you've got to see it.
Yeah.
I've never seen Neighbours.
Right, well.
Harold, just so you know, Paul, if Harold goes through a body horror, he's probably going to come out better looking.
Well, it's people are taking this experimental kind of weight loss drug that starts doing weird and strange things to them with tentacles, and so if you've not seen it, get it watched. It's superb.
So The Beauty is done by the same people that did American Horror Story.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like one of the best American Horror Stories, and the gore and the backstories. There's hitmen, because a guy creates a drug that if you keep taking it, you'll stay young forever. But if you stop, I'm not going to ruin it for you. But then it can be, you can pass on once you've got the drug. It can be passed to other people via bodily fluids. So there's a backstreet way of getting it, if you can imagine. But
I can
so
see
there's
some story
hitmen
threads.
trying to, so. But anyway, other ones. Now these two I would consider body horror. You may disagree. Well, The Thing is body horror.
Definitely 100% body horror.
Because what happens to them? You're horrified.
Mm.
You're just going, and it's gnarly. Here's
Come on,
another one.
some mush's head turns into a spider and runs across the floor.
Is it body horror though? Because they're not human anymore, are they? They are monsters.
No, they're being taken over.
Yeah. So are they? Is that the same?
100% still body horror.
You think? Because
I think you have to remain human for it to be body horror. Like a lot of body horror is that they turn into demons have taken over them or whatever. I think it's stuff that involves a human body morphing or changing or kind of like that.
So what about The Exorcist then?
No, that's possession.
Yeah.
But he has a body horror in that. Her body changes, doesn't it?
But they get her back. Body horror, you don't come back.
All right, okay.
I mean, that's just like a temporary, that's like an allergic reaction. You eat some peanuts, you might swell up like a balloon, but you're coming back.
Yeah. Okay.
But the other one, now you might disagree with me. It's a good argument though. I think Aliens is a body horror.
Alien.
Aliens, yeah, an alien.
Oh.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have quite. I know with someone exploding out of your body.
Yeah,
so there is
it's happening to you,
and but it's not part of you. It's a different entity, and that's then separates itself from you, and you're still who you were.
What about Alien? Was it Alien 4 with all the different Sigourneys?
Resurrection.
I did think that when you said it. I could see that one.
I could see that one because there's a lot of experimentation with all the different clones.
And what about the one with what's his name? The kid from he's in Barbarian, Justin Long, where they turn him into a walrus.
Kevin Smith
definitely
film,
body horror.
That's a body
100%. Yeah.
And of course,
film. Kevin Smith done. I thought the two films he did, which was supposedly part of his Canuck trilogy, were great. You know what I mean? Your The Hoses got slated big time, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's daft, silly fun.
I mean, the other big one, Human Centipede.
Yes. Yes.
That's horror, man. That's horror.
It all comes down to a definition again, doesn't it? If you've got a solid definition, then it's easy to say, yes, it's body horror, or no, it's not. But when you drill into anything, you cannot get a solid definition. It's very difficult, I would say.
The human centipede, it's against your will. It's pure body horror. And if it happened to me, I'd rather take a bullet to the head or be the one at the front.
But isn't body horror...
Well, you'd have to be the one at the front. I'm not eating shit for no man.
Isn't body horror something's taking over you? Like you've been, you know what I mean? Like not
it's something
it's physically taken over.
Because look at the likes of, again, we're going back to Cronenberg, but the likes of Crash. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's body horror.
That's body horror. The fucking wounds, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but is it body horror or is it just weird people shagging wounds?
But if that's body horror, then I'd say Alien, and Alien's a body horror. Same with Human Centipede, because I was kind of separate.
Human Centipede's definitely body horror, 100%.
Did you say
Alien and Aliens, possibly not, but
what's the difference between the two then?
Because look what they do to them in Crash.
Hang on,
they transform themselves.
We're all talking
in Crash, they transform themselves by crashing, don't they, into horrific metal-clad.
I would say the definition of body horror is when something happens to you that was unintentional, that you didn't plan on and are horrified by, or something happening to you against your will. Human Centipede.
So if I you, Paul, and kind of put you to sleep and then cut your arms and legs off, are you in
body
a
horror?
You're in a
body horror.
boxing Helena all over, man.
Yeah.
So I was going to keep you in a box, Paul.
Yeah, or body horror can also be somebody does something to their own body that is so horrific to a normal human being, to somebody that's sane.
Look at Tetsu.
Yes, that's a great one.
You know what I mean? And its sequel.
Or the Tokyo Police one. What was it?
Tokyo Gore Police.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
But I think it's just something happening. You could say Hellraiser 3, where the cameraman becomes a Cenobite and all that. Even Pinhead, where something happens to you against your will, to your body. There's no coming back. You're never going to be the same.
I suppose
I'd say Hellraiser would be classed as body horror.
It's like, because it's like in it's not the movie isn't body horror, but something like in RoboCop where the guy gets the nuclear waste on him. That for me is kind of an iconic body horror.
Isn't RoboCop himself a body horror?
I suppose, in a way.
I suppose by the definition.
By definition,
about it would be you could argue.
Yeah, because he didn't ask for that.
Yeah,
it was against his will, and
and there's no coming back.
And there's no coming back. But he was dead. I think suddenly, if I woke up in the morning, there's these shows, they're not really horror, but there was one where the criminals had an underground surgeon. I think Mark Strong played the surgeon. And if the gang of criminals took me away and I woke up in the morning because they had an underground surgeon, I don't know, turn you into a woman or something, that would be body horror. Even though it's not a monster, it's against your will, and you wouldn't be too happy about it.
Oh,
that was a film, actually. It was a Spanish film that did that, wasn't it? The Skin I Live. Yeah.
Is that a body horror then?
Yeah, well, imagine
it wasn't a horror, but it kind of was horrific, wasn't it?
Yeah, imagine if it happened to you. You'd be horrified.
Yeah,
of course, yeah.
So that's horror for horror is different for everybody. So I think, like I was saying earlier, it's whatever you find so horrific and out of the norm for you. Like there's people that modify their bodies, like in Brazil and all that. They tattoo their faces, cut their nose off, so like an alien.
Yeah.
If I woke up in the morning like that, I'd be horrified. It would be a horror movie. But to them, it's not. So it's different for everybody. But then they might find, if they woke up in the morning with something else, they'll have something that they find horrific.
Well, that's like I've seen like reels and stuff where they've had someone a proper like goth that's got all the piercings and stuff, and then they do one of these makeup things and they're made to look like a Barbie doll, and that's their idea of horror. When they're looking in the mirror after that, and they've got the blonde hair extensions and shit, and they're just like, "This is my worst nightmare." Thing. So
a lot of these modern looks maxing, extreme plastic surgery people. They're body horror, aren't they? They sort of go uncanny valley and strange to look at and weird.
Yeah. Look at that, the Bride of Wildenstein. Do you know her who's got? And she looks like a cat, just about.
Yes, yes.
And you see people now just in the streets, and they've got like giant lip jobs. It's kind of the norm now, isn't it? Almost.
Yeah. It's 2.5, if you ask me.
That was one of my favorite. Sorry.
One of my favorite body horrors, for other reasons too, is Society.
Yeah.
Because they bring up the boy in their home from a child. Remember, they adopt that. Turns out he's adopted, and they bring him up. So it's his mom and dad, but really, they were only bringing him up so they could absorb him.
Yeah.
In their society. So that made you kind of look at your own parents, because I was like 15 or something, and go, "What if?"
Yeah.
Society is just a fantastic film that deserves a hell of a lot more love.
Did you have a point? You were going to say something, Moff, weren't you?
I was. Oh yes, it was just a little thing I was going to say when you were saying about the lips and stuff, and popular all the kind of Botox and all this stuff that's popular right now. They make a joke about that, which did make me laugh. And I'm the only one who likes this film, but this this did make me laugh in the film was 28 Years Later, where the guy is looking at a picture of the kid is looking at a picture of this guy's girlfriend because he's been separated from society for 20
That
years.
was good. That was
and
good.
and the kid and she's got like the big lips, and he goes like, has she had an allergic reaction or something? Like, I've seen this before when someone got stung on the lip by a bee. It's like,
That's true. That's true.
Well, actually,
Oh.
that just made me think then, actually, with your definition, Paul, aren't PD's choice of zombies, are they not body horror?
No, because you're yes and no. Because you're dead. You're already dead. You're not you. I think body horror, you have to be in there.
You have to know it. You have to know it. Yeah, okay, I've got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
They're just dead. But,
Yeah.
you know, I see where you're coming from because you're transforming, but you're dead. You
Yes.
come back.
Yeah, yeah.
You're just a shell.
But they're not like the Fly, are they? They don't know what
No.
they're doing.
No.
They're animals.
You have to be conscious of what's going on to you for it to be body horror. You know, like the Fly, he knows he's changing. You know, Slither, you're very conscious. You're sorry, not Slither. No, Slither. Yeah, those films. Fly, Society. You know, when they're absorbing him, he knows what's happening. But there's some where people are willingly body horror. You know, it's a good one, and I can't believe none of us have ever talked, especially when we're doing Little Monsters. The Brood.
Yeah.
We did mention The Brood.
Little
Brood
Monsters.
did get a mention, I think.
Yeah, but none of us picked it, which is crazy.
Is that Cronenberg?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
And
she's
that's
got
definitely
the whole,
body. She's got all them little sacks all over her body.
he's
Samantha
kind of
Egger.
he's the king of body horror, Nick Cronenberg, really. He's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Videodrome where you take the gun out his, I think it's James, what's his name?
James
Takes the gun out
Woods.
his,
yeah.
Woods, yeah. But I love Videodrome, actually.
yeah. I mean, Cronenberg, that's his thing, body horror. You know, I mean, even when he did the Naked Lunch, the way the bugs are changing and the typewriter was like a cockroach, and you know, that's his thing. I find body horror really gnarly, and you know, when I had my hernia fixed and I woke up in the hospital, like I remember thinking, what if I look down and you know, and I've got
My
like
legs are this long.
yeah, I've got like baby legs or something, or you know, and I was never in the real hospital as some mad scientist. The Mutations with Tom Baker.
Great
Remember
film.
that?
Yeah.
No, I've
Yeah.
never seen that.
Yeah, that was like he became a half plant. It
Yeah.
was kind of a take on the whole the plants that eat people.
Cannibal.
Triffids.
Sorry?
Cannibal.
Triffids.
Oh, Triffids, sorry.
It's kind of a take on Triffids.
I've just thought though, on the definition, sorry, I'm not trying to pick holes and everything, but if the thing is body horror, then that when they change, they're not aware they're already the thing, aren't they?
That's what I was trying to say before, actually.
The thing, well, I did say the thing in Aliens are kind of an argument, or kind of, I don't know. I would say, but I'm not going to say firmly. All the other ones I've mentioned are definitely body horror.
Maybe there's genres of body horror.
There is.
Yeah. Awareness and non-awareness.
Teeth was a body horror.
Yes.
Oh, I never saw that.
Yeah, that's where her. She's got teeth in
a vagina with teeth.
Yeah, I saw the trailer. I can remember.
Right then, so is that you? Is that you there, Paul?
That's me. Yeah.
Right then, me last then, and I've picked zombies. The word zombie has its origins in Africa. And then it wasn't until back in the 18th century, it wasn't until about 1929 when it first appeared and started really appearing in print, when there was a book called I've got it written down here as well, The Magic Island. But it was all, they weren't flesh-eating zombies, they were all working on plantations, and it was all sugar plantations and in Haiti and all that kind of thing.
Serpent and the Rainbow.
Yeah, Serpent and the Rainbow.
Great movie.
Yeah, the first kind of film was White Zombie. Bela Lugosi as the witch doctor, which was fantastic. Then there was a few, you had Revolt of the Zombies in 36, King of the Zombies, and they were all that same kind of. King of the Zombies was someone wanted to build an army for the Nazis, but they weren't flesh eating, they were all just like worker drones. Then Hammer, 1966. Then it what and obviously the horror is that the dead coming back to life, and then in 1968 we got The Godfather, Night of the Living Dead, which changed it all and really turned it horror. And the big thing, me and Clive had a discussion on Sunday with zombies is, yes, they're slow and they're ambling and they walk along, they get you with the numbers. It's always the numbers game, and because they're quiet.
That's the big fear, I think, with the zombies, isn't it? It's the relentlessness. There's just loads of them, and
Yeah.
they're just following you, and they don't give up, and you can't escape because they're just everywhere. And even though they're
And
slow,
obviously,
just
stupidity and panic of us humans always gets us killed.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Guaranteed, there's always somebody who's absolutely stupid, or there's, humans stabbing themselves in the back, if you know what I mean, to save themselves, but they don't end up saving themselves because they all end up perishing anyways. But the horror mostly is it's the stumbling, the quietness, and obviously
Also a
the
horror.
flesh eating.
Yeah. Also a
That
horror.
first time, you know what I mean, I
Usually-
seen a
Oh, sorry.
flesh eating ghoul, which was, Dawn of the Dead, and you first see somebody getting ripped apart. It's like fucking hell, you know, and it gets you,
Yeah.
and stays with you, and obviously after Night of the Living Dead, to be honest, it was quite quiet, for a few years. Then the 70s hit, and it was the Spaniards who were the kind of first to jump on the kind of first kind of big zombie wave. With the Tombs of the Blind Dead films, there was the four of them, which they ran from kind of 72 to 75. Then Living Dead at the Manchester Morgue in 74, which was filmed around the Peak District and Cumbria, that end of Cumbria.
Was that a
which
Spanish
again,
director?
Spanish director, Italian, English, American, and Spanish actors. So you know what I mean. It was quite an international thing, and that was quite a big hit when it came out. Then nothing really till 78, and Dawn of the Dead, which took zombies into that kind of. They were the big thing, and the Italians started copying them. And that's when you got the big wave of the Italian stuff, with Zombie Flesh Eaters or Zombie 2, because it was seen as a prequel stroke sequel to Dawn of the Dead. It was supposedly how it got across to America type thing. It's how it all started with Zombie Flesh Eaters kind of kick.
George Romero worked with him because they did. He also edited a version of Dawn of the Dead.
That was Dario Argento edited,
Yes.
Because he produced Dawn of the Dead, which became massive, called Zombie, hence Zombie Flesh Eaters being Zombie 2 in Italy.
Yeah.
And you got over that 80s, it was mostly Italian stuff with the Zombies Reanimator, had a few zombies in, but it was mostly Frankenhooker, obviously another one. But it was mostly the Italians were the ones. But by 90, zombie films had kind of disappeared. You weren't getting by the early 90s, apart from Return of the Living Dead Part 3, because 85, you got Day of the Dead and Return of the Living Dead, which were both sequels to Night of the Living Dead. You know what I mean?
That's because what's his
Russo,
name? Russo and Romero, they sued each other. One got the right to recall the Living Dead, so that's
it.
why, and the other one, so that's why it's Return of the Living Dead. and Night of the Living Dead, because one there was some legal drama, so
That's
one did
right.
the third, and one did Day of the Dead, but not the Living Dead. The Living Dead went
Right.
to I think Russo.
John Russo.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
interesting. I
and
didn't know that.
so
Yeah.
the Living Dead and just the Dead went to Romero.
So John Russo wrote a book, Return of the Living Dead. That was his sequel, which then got completely changed in a way to become the film. When Dan O'Bannon, Alien reference again, got involved. But yeah, by the early 90s, zombie films were kind of done. And it really wasn't until 2004 when they kind of
Dawn
came
of the Dead
back.
remake.
Dawn of the Dead remake and Shaun of the Dead both released in the same year. Then there was a little bit of a spurt of zombie films. Romero got to make a trilogy, Land, Diary, and Survival. Then it was the Walking Dead TV show that really
Zombieland.
and really put it into the zeitgeist of everybody watching zombie stuff. But the horror and what makes zombies horror, it is they were once dead, they're back to life. Whichever version you're watching, they're eating flesh now. In the old days, they were just mindless drones working
I
in
think there's also
the sugar
another
fields.
thing as well, because I was thinking about this the other day. I think I agree that's the main one, but there's also a fear of societal collapse with zombie films.
yeah.
It's like this post-apocalyptic kind of worry that if everybody, like Dawn of the Dead, we're in a mall, but we can't shop. It's like there's just zombies kind of thing.
Well, as well, the whole buzz about zombies growing up is like each one's going to sort of outgo the last one. The effects it's a very effects laden genre, isn't it?
But
and I think the thought of being ripped limb from limb and that being shown really graphically is that's what makes it horror, I think.
Well, look, Day of the Dead. You know what I mean? When they rip roads.
Joe, what's his actor's name? Joe Piscopo.
He plays Rhodes in Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Joe can it, as he's getting ripped and absolutely fantastic. And then, I mean, I can remember in the 90s when I'd started knocking around with a few lads who were into films, and I was the horror lad. And when I said, my favourite monster was zombies, I was laughed at because by this time zombies were not a thing. Nobody was watching zombie films apart from saddos like me and Paul, who kept on returning to like.
I think the zombies suffers from being, like, with all due respect, not very well written. So those Spanish ones you're talking about are really exercises in really top class makeup with some loose, half-baked story around them. But I think the Romero ones rose to the top better. I think.
Well, the Spanish ones, the Living Dead at the Manchester Morgue was all about. It had a message. It was environmentalism. Yeah,
but what was trying to get at is the Romero ones got better, I think, because you started to fall in love with the characters, and then it was really tragic when one of those got bit. Do you know what I mean? And
yes.
I remember the guy, I don't know what, the blonde one in the shopping mall, and then he's sat on a bed and he's got a blue face. And you've kind of been with him the whole movie, and you kind of, you love the character. And it's like, oh, fuck, anyone can die, you know what I mean?
Whereas that's my childhood right there. My childhood.
Oh, yeah.
Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead, first VHS I ever sat down to watch. Night of the Living Dead. Going back to Night of the Living Dead, I can remember seeing the trailer for Night of the Living Dead on the start of Dawn, and it was in black and white, and it shocked me. It was nearly one of my jump scares.
I just bits the film, and then somebody bites a chunk out of somebody's shoulder right at the start, and it's like, I've never seen that. That looked real, It was like, what? And it was a kind of, having been brought up on Christopher Lee with red eye makeup. Suddenly it's this like really visceral and really like realistic and brutal. That really had the effect, I think. And then, you know, for young lads growing up, it's like, whoa, man, they bit their arm off. You know, it's like, you love it, don't you?
As I've said to Off a few times, Dawn of the Dead is by no doubt the best American Civil War movie ever made.
Okay, that's
without
another
doubt.
podcast, isn't it? Right there.
Yeah, it is. But, it's the American people versus
zombie,
the American people.
It's quite loose. It's a loose term, isn't it? Because you could say, I mean, your favourite film, PD, The Evil Dead, they're kind of zombies, aren't they? They look like
well,
them
in a way,
like
they are. You know what I mean? Because they do bite, but it's more it's more possession. But they do get called the Deadites, not zombies.
Yeah, I think a lot.
But some people call them zombies.
Yeah, they are essentially, aren't they? Because everybody making zombie films now doesn't like the term zombie, do they? We don't use that word. But then I remember watching a French TV show called The Returned. I don't know if anyone saw that, which was about people that came back to life after years, like they lost their daughter.
I saw that. Yeah.
Oh, they remade it. There was an American remake of it.
I've heard of it.
The French one I thought was great. You know what I mean? But they came back exactly how they were the day they went missing. They weren't rotted away or anything. So, you know, are they zombies? Is that horror? There's definitely shot like horrors.
I'll tell you a good British zombie film, Before Dawn, directed by Paddy the vet from Emmerdale. It was his first film, and it's low budget, but it's got some really good creepy moments in it. Because obviously at first they don't know what's going on. They've went away on holiday.
I remember like years ago at Cannes, name drop, I was at the Cannes Festival probably in the mid-2000s or something like that. And there was I never saw the film, but there was a whole buzz going around about a zombie film that was made on Super 8 videotape called Colin. And
Colin was brilliant. Colin was excellent. British film. Excellent. Same with a serial killer one called Tony.
Okay, just blokes.
Colin and Tony.
Yeah, Colin and Tony, two very British names and two very British. Tony is the serial killer one, and Colin was a great, zombie one.
Remember Billy Connolly played a zombie?
Yes, Fido. That was excellent. I enjoyed Fido. It was very, very good. Zombie films have been used for a lot of comedy as well. Especially where the Return of the Living Dead, the second one more than the first, went down more of a comedy and family-friendly route in a way, the second one. But there was still gore in there, but not as on the scale of the first film. But zombie films, they've always had a special place in this. And then obviously the Resident Evil games came about, which helped keep, zombies were always prevalent in computer games.
Are zombies the start of gore as a thing?
No, because really the start of gore big time was Herschel Gordon Lewis back in the
Blood Feast.
Blood Feast, that was the real first
1,000 Maniacs.
2,000 Maniacs and stuff like that. Go and watch Herschel Gordon Lewis's stuff. Low budget, yes, but they were the first real gore movies, and in colour. Don't forget, Night of the Living Dead was 1968 and in black and white.
Yeah.
Herschel Gordon Lewis was doing it in colour. Blood Diner was supposed to be a sequel to Blood Feast, and they still kept a lot of the big beats from it, but changed the name. But the early Herschel Gordon Lewis stuff, absolutely fantastic. Al Adamson as well.
Bloodsucking Freaks, who did that?
Oh, Bloodsucking Freaks. Oh God,
isn't
that a
So like vampire?
It's about a circus.
I can't remember. They inject rabid blood, and they all eat it and turn into kind of zombie things. I've got it somewhere with a syringe.
Joel Reed. The Bloodsucking Freaks was, he had a theater company, and he would kidnap people and like kill them live on stage, like the Grand Guignol or whatever it's called. You know,
Okay.
and that was 1976. That was ultra gory because I
I
remember as a
same with
scene.
the Wizard of Gore,
Exactly,
Herschel
yeah,
Gordon Lewis as well,
yeah.
who but it got that got remade with George McFly playing the Wizard of Gore. I can't
Crispin
think.
Glover, Crispin Glover.
Crispin Glover, yeah,
Yeah.
he's done the remake of it.
Okay.
So which is worth checking out. Yeah, Herschel Gordon Lewis, Waff and Clive. If you've not watched any of his stuff,
I know
well worth.
enough about it to know I probably won't like it.
I tell you
Me
what.
and Paul love it. I've got the
Yeah,
box set that came from Arrow, which is limited to 500. So I've got every of his films, and it came with albums and books, and there's even an eye on a stick as well. Go and check that out. The Arrow Herschel Gordon Lewis set. It
You
is
know,
fucking epic.
one of my favorite horror movie scenes of all time is from a zombie film. You might disagree with me, but in America, to advertise a movie after the watershed, they played the opening, which is about 8 minutes, just the opening of this film. They played it on the Sci-Fi Channel, and everybody watched it. And then they all ran to the cinema on opening weekend to watch the movie. And it was the reboot of Dawn of the Dead, Zack Snyder. And it was that scene,
Great opening.
the very
Yeah.
opening where she's just in the hospital, and then the little girl lights her husband, and
Yeah.
then the camera pulls up and it's just carnage.
My
Then it goes
only
to the
my
titles.
only gripe is I don't like running zombies. I prefer mine to shuffle and walk, and then to run and be jacked up like they've just drank a load of Monster and Red Bull.
I think
And that
what
seems
I
to
like
be
them both.
cool in that opening as well was like it was the little girl, wasn't it? She was
Yeah.
like the first one,
yeah.
and she was on the floor, and then she suddenly sort of jumps up and she's up.
Yeah,
Whoa! Bloody hell, man! That was great.
Oh, it was a fantastic opening.
Yeah.
yeah. It was just sets the whole movie up where you're like, oh, I'm glad I'm watching this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it was
Yeah.
a
The big
it was a
wide like,
remake.
drone shot, doesn't it? Where there's like just chaos and
Explosions.
Yeah,
You know,
and
it's
oh man, the world has changed.
Written by
Yeah.
James Gunn.
that's right.
No,
See,
Yeah.
I've just read today Zack Snyder's remaking John Carpenter's Escape from New York. And I'm like, am I happy about this? I don't know. Because
It
I've
depends
not
on
really
who plays. Depends on who plays
Well,
Snake.
his son, that's the only person that can get.
You know,
It just
saying
feels
that,
pointless.
he is the
Yeah.
only person because he is so like his dad.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a shift. I mean, he plays his dad in Monarch. They play the
Yes.
same role. You never question it. But which is kind of crazy because a lot of the sons can never step into their father's shoes.
Father's shoes, that's it.
Except for Chad Nicholson's kid. He's pretty impressive.
He is in Borderline. He was excellent in that playing a
Yeah.
psycho.
Oh,
If you've not
superb.
seen Borderline, you know what I mean. Samara Weaving is in it as well. Excellent film, and it twists and turns and goes where you wouldn't expect it as well. Thoroughly enjoyed
Because he doesn't-
Borderline.
Because he is a great actor, and he doesn't try to be cool. You know, he's not trying to be too cool. He gets crazy like his dad. You know, played like an Easy Rider. His dad was a nerdy, on the bike with a helmet, passenger. That's the kind of roles this kid has taken, and he is amazing.
I saw him in Smile too, actually, and he had his dad's vibe going on there. His dad, that grin,
He's got his dad's grin. That's it. That's just fabulous. Right then, I think that's us.
Well, we haven't kind of. The last bit was just going to be kind of a summation of like
sorry.
what. Yeah.
So in summation, I forgot about this. What was summations? So in summation, lads, what do we,
Well, it was just kind of the whole thing was what is horror. So we discussed it kind of in the middle a little bit. Paul mentioned what he thought was horror. So we've all said what the different genres what makes them horror. So what kind of unites them all? I think Paul's was a pretty good.
This is
I've
going
got
to
a better one.
be the Carlisle Cinema Club definition of horror.
Yeah,
I'm going to put
What we've
my
talked
glasses down so I look intelligent. I think
It's not working, Paul.
I think horror is witnessing or imagining an experience so horrific and unnatural to yourself that you would rather die than endure it.
But the only thing that I'd say is like in my one haunted house, a lot of that's just jumping because there's a creak on the stairs, and I wouldn't rather die than jump because there's a creak on the stairs.
Well, I think we've all got our own definitions,
But-
isn't there? Which
But
is just
for
going to
me,
be
just got, well, obviously we don't have to come up with a thing. It was just kind of a discussion at the end. Mine is just depending on the genre. I think it's something like something that, in a very broad sense, makes you scared, gives you fear. Whether it's a jump on the stairs, whether it's being ripped apart, whether it's being killed, whether it's seeing something horrific happening in front of you that just
or
it's.
a
I think it's
zombie
just
biting a woman's breast.
yeah.
Yeah.
Burial ground.
So I think mine's pretty close to Paul's. It's just I would take out the would rather die. I just put yourself in that situation.
Yeah,
You would feel abject fear, but I'd take out the rather die bit, and then that would still put you in a haunted house. but
That's true.
Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, it's broad. It's
that.
broad because because there's these films kind of like Seven, which is which is a very, is it horror or is it a thriller?
Yeah,
it's
one of the films
more
that
of
we
a
discussed.
thriller. It's more of a cop thriller.
This in the original discussion,
and it
we
is
made,
a serial killer.
there was an IMDb top 10 horrors of all time, and this is what the discussion was that I had with my mate that started this whole thing off. And Seven was number 10 on the list of best IMDb horrors of all time, and that was on the 10. That was the one that I thought was the shakiest to say it was a horror. I can kind of see how it's
even though it's serial killer, it's more of a cop thriller because there's more of they're investigating it. You know what I mean? You're seeing it more from the copper's side than either the victim's side or the villain's side.
Yeah,
with Seven
on the bed where he's dead and then he comes alive.
That's
pure horror, isn't it? That's a horror scene altogether.
Yeah,
that particular scene is body horror.
Gluttony.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Would you say Obsession is horror?
I would, yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it yet.
Maybe something about dealing with, what's going on currently in the general population mind as well. Like I suppose it's got to be more. It's got to be worse than the actual news, hasn't it, to stay ahead?
Yeah.
And maybe dealing with our current fears as a society. Because I think these modern ones, these young folk making these films, are really switched on. That they're talking to today's audience.
Yeah.
They're not talking to us as much, and their fear, what they're scared of, is quite different from what we might be scared of.
Yeah.
So I suppose in a way, horror differs from person to person.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? What everyone finds as horror, we all find different. You know what I mean?
But isn't that kind of like saying, well, what makes you laugh is different for all four of us?
Well, that's it.
Comedy, we all know what comedy is. Do you know what I mean? We all know what horror means.
Well, what is horror? Something that scares you. To boil it completely down to its basic, horror is something that scares you. If you were to boil it completely down to its essence, it scares you.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's really it.
That's kind of
whether it be somebody getting turned into a creature monster, a creak on the stairs, finding the footage of murders gone by, or flesh-eating ghouls. Boil it down completely,
you're scared because you put yourself in that situation, and that's scary, which is kind of links into what So that it's you putting
exactly.
yeah.
And it's very individual.
Yeah.
But that's the very basic one. But if we actually looked at what each of us thinks, the things that would scare us would change massively from the four of us.
Yeah.
If we all sat
Of
and
course
said,
it
"Well, that
would,
scares
but
me more," yeah,
as an overarching,
yeah,
what is horror? It's what scares you.
yeah,
Overarching, we all agreed on the same, thing.
Scared.
Scared.
Yeah.
It's being scared. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, for us, the meaning of horror is being scared.
Yeah, scared. Yeah.
Whether, as I said, the haunted house, the body horror, the serial killer with a camera, or flesh-eating ghouls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They all scare you. And I think on that note, we shall say
Good night,
goodbye.
don't have nightmares.
Yeah, good night, don't have nightmares, you bastards. Clive, you're looking a bit kind of stoic there. Hello, Clive. Earth to Clive. Earth to Clive.
Hello, yes. It went out. You all paused for a second there. Yeah.
All right. Did it just look like you were just like staring dead at us? We're all cunts.
No.
So, anyways, that's us for another one. Stick around, lads. You know to go. Thank you all for being here. We've been the Carlisle Cult Cinema Club Presents. I've been PD. That's been Waff. Here's been Clive. And down in one corner somewhere, wherever it comes out, here's been Paul. We'll speak to you next time with more from us daft idiots. Speak to you all soon. Goodbye.